Taurus, welcome to your career and finance reading. I hope you have been well. Today, we are going to look in your past, present, and incoming future energies to see what we can glean as far as messages and lessons on your career and finance journey. As always, this is for Taurus placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. Cross watchers are welcome as well. And with that, let's get started. Spirit, I thank you for the opportunity to read for the Taurus Collective regarding career and finance, and ask that you provide protection for myself, the collective, and the message as we go through this active divination together. Please provide me with clear and concise messages, for which I'm very thankful. That may allow me to be able to advise Taurus on their career and finance journey. Ashe Amin. All right, so I'm going to pull from the Tarot Nefertari deck first. Then I will go ahead with some career and life oracle cards so we can get really specific and drill down into what is going on and see what lessons we can pull from the messages. All right. I hope you have been well. I was saying in the Taurus general reading, if I'm not mistaken, for this week that, a lot of people that I know who are Taurus placements, I am a Taurus sun, are in this period of just like, yo, I'm just trying to hang on. A lot of people don't even know what they're hanging on for, or like let me not say it like that. Like, a lot of people don't know when it will end, essentially. Like, when will this rough patch end? For a lot of people, that rough patch should be coming to a close in late April when Uranus leaves Taurus, because it's been in Taurus in some configuration or in some way or shape since 2018. And I know a big part of my journey, especially spiritually, started in 2018. So with that being said, what is going on for career and finance for the Taurus Collective, past, present, and future respectively, please? What is going on? Yeah, it's been a really, really interesting time. Ooh, that's a lot of cards, and none of them showed their face. So respectfully, we're going to give her a cute little shuffle and start again. Thank you. Okay. Damn. Yeah. All right, so past, present. We're going to get into it. Ace of Cups. We had the Tower in the past position. We have the Ace of Cups in the present position. They call it a chalice in this deck, but it's a cup. You know what? The Ace of Chalices. I like that. It's nice. All right, and then what's going on in the future? Thank you. We have the Nine of Cups. Okay. All right now. I'm not mad at it. Because you know what? I was saying in another reading, I want to say it was the Libra General, that the Tower card is not... The Tower card is... I like it. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. My favorite card is the Magician, but some of my favorite cards in the deck do include the Tower, the Death card, things like that. And the reason why is because the Tower comes to clear away that which was built on a shaky foundation. You can't have a strong financial backing on a shaky foundation, right? It's going to evaporate at some point in time, and you're going to be left scrambling. So you needed, for whatever this was that ended, whether it was a job loss, whether you lost a client that provided you with a large percentage of your business, whatever it was, like, you needed to become uncomfortable in order to reinvent. I'm sorry to say it, but it is true. We are Taurus, and we like to be able to predict what's going to happen for and around and to us, because it gives us the illusion of control, because we are a fixed sign, and we find it a little bit difficult at times to come to a place where we are okay with relinquishing change and or control and embracing change. And what I'm getting is that you had a situation that occurred for you in the past. And when I say recent past, the recent past could have been 2 years ago, baby. It doesn't have to be yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And so you have a new opportunity that has cleared up. Now you don't have that lingering in your energy. It might still be on your mind, but it's not lingering in the way that you show up every day. You now have this, you come into this period now with the Ace of Chalices, the Ace of Cups. You have a new opportunity for fulfillment. You have a new opportunity. You have a new job offer coming in. You have a new you have a new business proposal. And just because you got a job offer last week does not mean you cannot hear out a job offer this week. Just because you took an interview for one company last week does not mean that you need to turn down every other interview you get, especially in these times. And so you have options, right? That multiplies into the 9 of Cups in the future, where you are in a position where you're very, very fulfilled. You're very happy. You're very fulfilled. You are in a place of abundance. All right. So how do we get there? For the collective I'm talking to, we are going to explore. So why is the Tower here? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So you decided that you were going to cultivate your money somewhere else. So you could have quit a job, dropped a client. Like I said, this was something that was a part of your progression. This was something that was a part of your path. And it's not that it's useless because it's no longer a part of your active everyday. So just because you don't work here anymore, that doesn't mean that you can't. You probably did so many things that if you try to create a resume for this job, you'd probably have like 20 bullet points under the section for this job, if this were a job. Do you see what I'm saying? So you learned a lot of valuable lessons here. Even though it has now come to an end, you are now in a position where you're able, still in the recent past now, you're in a position where you're able to still grow your pentacles based off of what you gained in this now ended situation. Is there anything else that you can tell me about the Tower? Oh, my Lord, that's way too many cards, baby. But I acknowledge it, but like, that's way too many cards. We need to keep it nice and concise. I appreciate that though. Why? Thank you. Yeah, 4 Wands. And so you might have begun to realize it in the past that you dodged a bullet with this place, like this job ended. It might have hurt your feelings a little bit if it was something that was like a layoff or something, or if a client decided not to renew their contract. It might have maybe you were you quit your job. This is highly specific. Maybe you quit your job because it was toxic or they weren't, whatever the case may be. And you thought that you were going to be able to pick up a new job. You're qualified, you're skilled, you know what's going on. And the Tower moment could have been you're putting yourself out there and nobody's calling you back. You're not getting hired. Like, you never used to have this problem. Like, you've never seen this before. Right? And so you have all these skills that you're able to, cultivate. And the part of the Tower was feeling helpless, right? Part of the Tower was feeling these people are pushing this tower. And if you notice, 2 of these people are trying to hold the tower up, and then you have somebody on the other side pushing it over. So you were trying to hold this tower up at first. Like, you tried to stick out whatever this was that ended up ending. And it did mess with your sense of self a little bit. It did shake your head, shake up your mental space a little bit. And that's normal and that's fine. You still have a lot of valuable assets that you came away from this experience with. You're a lot more experienced and wiser than you are now, just because you're not, you haven't been seeing the direct returns that you've been wanting to see in the recent past does not mean that you are not a qualified and skilled individual who is deserving of the kind of abundance that you seek to create. And so now with the 4 of Wands, you are realizing how much of a bullet you've dodged with this place, and you're actually able to rest and rejoice in the fact that you're not there anymore. So now you're clearing a lot of that emotional and mental and spiritual blockage. My dog woke up from her nap. You're able to clear away a lot of those blockages that were keeping you from being able to see new paths and new opportunities, such as this Ace of Cups. All right, so why is the Ace of Cups here? Why is the Ace of Chalices? Good sire. Why is it here? Why? What can you tell me about the Ace of Cups? Thank you. Ooh, you are not playing around. You have the Empress. The Empress is a very Venusian card. In the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, the Empress card is depicted as having literally the sign of Venus on the card. It's a very abundant card. You see like sheaths of wheat everywhere, and it's, you see this woman sitting very fertile, beautiful looking, radiant in her chair. And so you see similar imagery here. And you are in this space of sitting in your own energy. You might also have Libra in your chart like I do. I'm a Taurus Sun, Libra Moon. And that's why I focus on Taurus and Libra on this channel, because I feel like, the Venusian energy is one to be honored. And so you also see, if you pay attention, you see there is an Ankh here. There's a lot of really cool symbolism and imagery on this card, but you're sitting now firmly in this very abundant energy, because now you have clarity. Right now you realize just how fertile in terms of bringing about abundance. When I say fertile, I'm not talking about babies. I'm talking about like the ability to multiply and create and expand things, right? In terms of abundance, since this is a career and finance reading. You kind of knew in the past. You certainly know it now. You know how valuable you are now. You know how able and just how apt you are at creating abundance and creating change. You know the value that you bring to any situation now. So now when this new opportunity comes in, this new potential for fulfillment, you're embracing it and approaching it and coming at it with the energy that it needs in order to multiply into a better position. You have the 9 of Wands here, so you're still kind of tired. I tried to put this card back in the deck, but then it flipped out, so obviously she wants to be seen. This is the 9 of Wands here, so you are a little tired, right? Like you very much are, you know, I'm a survivor. Like you survived, girl. You survived. You made it to the end. You know, you are tired. But I think in being tired, it gives you a chance to sit and to ponder upon that value that you have been continually realizing the strength of over time, first here and now here. And so yes, you are tired from this tower moment that you experience. However, being tired and resting is not a useless act, right? The act of resting is very, very much important and needed. And so in that rest, you're able to ponder things that you couldn't do if your mind was active, because you're doing all of these things in the physical plane. The 9s have to do with the physical plane, your actions. You are physically tired, right? And so you need to focus on self-care at this time as well. This is wildly specific, but I do have these books on the table for a reason. I have this book called The Sacred Book of Baths, or the Book of Sacred Baths. I don't know why I can't read. And so I have a couple of baths bookmarked here. And I'm going to just quickly read the recipe for one of the baths that would help in your particular situation. And so I love this book because it offers such a wonderful way to reconnect with self, but also do it in a way that is, accessible. Whatever ingredients you don't have, you don't have, and that's okay. But I'm still going to read this recipe. I'm looking for it right now. All right. So I am going to, here it is. All right, so this bath is releasing anger and resentment baths, okay? I'm going to go ahead and read one of the recipes for such. So if this is helpful for you, go ahead and write this down. I'm going to give you can pause this, and I'm going to start reading. So this is your pause alert. Okay, here we go. So the recipe is 3 drops of bergamot oil, 4 drops of lavender oil, 4 drops of jasmine oil, 2 drops of lemon oil, 3 drops of neroli oil, 2 drops of patchouli oil, and this is if you have it, 2 drops of ylang ylang oil, a red candle, a cup of apple cider vinegar, and some dandelion tea. Just brew it with it, and then. And I'm going to read the explanation of the bath elements as well. So bergamot oil is uplifting and good for anger management, because you still might have some residual anger resting in you from this tower moment experience that you'd had. Lavender oil balances emotions and creates peace, which you need in order to open your heart chakra, open up and create alignments between your chakras as well, in order to get your energy to a place where you can start to resonate with the abundance you're looking to create. Yeah. Jasmine oil is good for anger management and is soothing. Lemon oil is cleansing. Cleansing is really important. Whenever I buy like soaps and things like that, anything that has lemon, any kind of mint, those are the things that I'm going to go for. Even if it's like regular everyday commercial, stuff that you'll buy in like a regular store, you know what I mean? If it has lemon extract in it, I'll use that, because I know that when I take my shower, all right, this is a spiritually cleansing agent. Neroli oil creates emotional balance and mental clarity. Patchouli oil creates emotional release and reduces anxiety. Ylang ylang oil creates emotional balance and peace. So that would open up a foundation for you to be able, and this is what the book looks like, by the way. I got this at my local metaphysics shop. This is what she looks like. All right. Cool. So let's continue on. I don't know who that was for, but you need to be able to release anger and release resentment in order to open up, because you are very tired right now. And while tiredness can be useful because you can reflect, it can also be a breeding ground for emotions such as anger that haven't been fully processed. And so, doing a meditation in a bath like the one that I described. And if you don't have all the ingredients, it's fine. Use what you have. But hopefully that is helpful. Is there anything else you can tell me about the present moment? Thank you. We also have the Knight of Cups, right? So you have this very steady progression in terms of emotional fulfillment surrounding this new endeavor. So whether it is you creating the endeavor or whether it is you easing into a new endeavor that you could have started in the recent past as well, you're getting to a place where you're able to unclench and not expect the worst as it pertains to your finances and your endeavors. You're starting to see the path to stability because you're now opening yourself up emotionally. You're not struggling with as much of a burden as you were emotionally, because you're now at a point where you're able to process and understand more and extract more. And you would think that, this is emotional stuff. What the hell does this have to do with my money? You are a Taurus. So whenever your emotional state and your spiritual state is messed up, guess what? How you show up in the physical world, including your pentacles, including your money, is going to be messed up too. That's just how it works. I know. I'm a Taurus. And that's just how it goes. So the Nine of Cups, why is this here? And then we'll move into the more specific energies. Why is the Nine of Cups here? Woo, baby. Flew off the table and everything. Thank you. That flew off the people table. So, oh my God. We have the Strength card. You could be dealing with a Leo, or you could have Leo in your chart too. It's not a strength that you feel like is difficult to exert. You have gained this strength through understanding the lessons that you have been through. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you are now realizing that maybe you could have showed up differently at that previous job. Maybe you shouldn't have trusted, this colleague you trusted and they try to sabotage you. Or maybe you should have saw the writing on the wall and found a different job. And now you know what red flags look like in the interview process. Maybe you shouldn't have taken on that client, and that client ended up being a headache. And even though they were, you were doing a lot of business with them, they were a headache. And now that they're no longer your client, you're in a position to realize, okay, this is what I don't want in my clientele going forward. So you know how to tailor your message to attract the clientele that you do want to work with. You have the strength and the discernment to be able to do that because you have learned your lessons from the past. And so you're carrying them with you. Is there anything else that you want to tell me before we get specific with the oracle cards? Last shuffle. Ooh. Last shuffle. Okay. Thank you. All right. So you're in a pretty solid place. I mean, yeah, tower moments aren't exactly fun, But sometimes we need them to clear out the debris that we otherwise would have continued to cling onto because we thought this trash was valuable. You see what I'm saying? It just is what it is, you know? So we go through this Tower moment. Yeah, we have the potential to, we have ideas, we understand that we are valuable, we know the value that we bring places, but we're still kind of reeling from the Tower moment, right? It's kind of difficult, it's kind of painful. You are able to then realize, okay, well, I did kind of dodge a bullet, that situation wasn't exactly ideal. I was just tolerating it for the time being because, well, I needed to. And so now you are in a position where you have a new opportunity, a new client. They seem less unhinged than your previous client, right? You have an interview and you talk to the hiring manager, and the hiring manager seems a lot more balanced and like they'd be a better fit for you to work with. Things like this are starting to happen, and you're able to actually meet them in the middle, not with frantic, anxious energy, but you're tired. Which is not exactly, I'm not getting that that's really coming through too much to whoever you're dealing with. But now you're in a position where you're able to recognize your own energy and your own value and your own strength, and you're sitting in your energy, and you're very, very fertile, and you're very, very apt for pulling in positive experiences to yourself like a magnet. And so with this, you have this progression in fulfillment. And a big part of that progression and fulfillment is you realizing just how powerful you actually are. Regardless of the circumstances, the economy could be doing the pop, lock, and drop it. You said that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm going to go get my money. And I respect that. It is what it is. My mother, when it was the 2008 recession, I was in school still. I was a kid. And I was in junior high. And my mother, who was an immigrant, went and my mother was a nurse's aide when I was born. When the recession hit, she decided she was going to quit nursing. This was the most insane thing. Like, everybody around her was like, don't do this. It's like 2009. Like, people who had like 6-figure jobs are driving like pizza delivery. Like, it was a crazy time. Like, I knew people who would come over because their power was out. You know what I mean? And like they would send their kids over and like they'd eat dinner at our house and like they'd bathe at our house because their power was out because they couldn't afford to pay their bill. Like, we had family that would come stay with us because it was just hard times. Like, the recession was a tough time. Okay. And my mom decided to quit nursing, and she decided she was going to open up a med spa. She got her additional credentialing. My mother was already an LPN by this time. She put herself through school. And, she decided to take that chance on herself, and people around her told her it was a terrible idea. You shouldn't be investing in this way. Like, you're going to lose your money, da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, luckily for us, at the time, we lived in an area where we lived in a middle-class neighborhood in New England, and she worked in an upper-class area. And so she was already pulling clientele from when she was doing like private nursing gigs, because she would meet people that wanted to take their families out of the senior care facility she used to work at, and they would basically come to her and solicit her and be like, hey, like, do you want to be like my mom's private hospice nurse as she's getting ready to pass? And so she had started making her clientele from when she was working at that job. When she was working at that nursing home when she was still an LPN, so she went from being a CNA to putting herself through school, becoming an LPN so she could make more. And she worked at this place. The first time I ever went to a strike was she took me to a strike that they were having at her job because, I guess the place was like anti-union, and her and her coworkers were trying to get some union stuff started so they can get protections. And my point is that her work environment was very stressful, right? Some of the patients there used to bite her, spit on her, you're dealing with people that have dementia. So it's a really tough environment because a lot of times they don't know what's going on. It's a really tough affliction to deal with. And God bless anyone who is suffering with that or knows someone who is. And so she goes from working in this really like terrible work environment. She'd be stressed all the time. Like, it was a really tough time. She decided in like the middle of the recession that she was going to quit her job and open up a med spa. And she went from barely scraping, $50,000 a year to having like $250,000 revenue within I want to say 2 years of opening. It was crazy. So you don't need like whatever, like the economy could be doing the electric slide. Whatever plans you have, just make sure you're taking into account the macroeconomic environment. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Obviously, this is not like hard financial advice. I'm not your like accountant. But do you see what I'm saying? The reason why I said this is because everybody around her was discouraging her, but she knew the value that she brought to her position going into this endeavor, because she started seeing that value in herself when she was still in the negative. She was still in the negative experience. She goes through the tower moment. She's able to retain and still build upon. She was making those contacts, networking. She had those skills that she had from this job. She started meeting potential clients, moved into private nursing, used the money from private nursing and private hospice nursing gigs and stuff like that she was doing to be able to save up and start a new endeavor. And that brought her emotional fulfillment going into the future. So obviously it's not the exact same story for everybody, but that was, I really respect my mother for that. My mother is a Scorpio, so she's my sister sign, me being a Taurus. So anyway, hopefully that spoke to someone's soul. Let's get into, make it work. You have all the tools you need to succeed, but you have to put in the effort. You excel at working with your hands and fixing problems. So you decided in the past you were going to make it work. You were going to take the skills you had already. You were going to take, the experiences you had already. You are an abundant well of experience and value. And you decided that you were going to take it and you were going to see what you could do with it. And I respect that. Very much like the story that I was weaving together earlier about my mother. And that's one of the things that I always, admired about my mom. All right. What else? I've been yapping a while, but I feel like someone needs to hear that. What else? All right, so what's happening in the present then? Woo, okay. Rewards. Yes, ma'am. You are cashing in on all the good work you've done. Raises, bonuses, and prosperity are coming in. Keep going and keep growing. So now you're coming into this era of abundance and prosperity, right? Because you've taken first of all, you're sitting in your energy. So it's a lot easier for you to draw these things in when you're sitting in your energy. But also you realize and recognize your value and you bring that energy wherever you go. You also have freedom. See that feather? Feathers, birds might also be an important symbol. So you might see birds in like groups of 3, groups of 5. So if you see that, just know you're on the right path, man. Freedom. You need to have more flexibility with your schedule and income. Being self-employed is ideal. Time off will help you get clear. And so it looks like for many of you, you're starting a new side hustle, a new endeavor, something that is independent, not exactly connected to an established organization, although you might still have your day job, right? So you're creating this freedom for yourself and it's creating rewards for you. It's paying dividends. And so that is what is on the back of this progressing emotional fulfillment. So even in this state of tiredness, right? In the present moment, mental tiredness, you're still able to create these positive experiences for yourself. And in the future, when you're not tired, you have a progression because you'll be sitting in the strength, which is a really, really solid position to be in financially, right? What else is there that you can tell me? Ooh, you also have influence. Use your influence for change. You may do public speaking, social videos, or interviews. Your voice and opinions are important. So you might be doing something with your voice. Also, your throat chakra could be really important, so make sure you keep it clear. Throat chakra meditations, music, frequencies, however you get it done, I don't care. Just make sure you're taking care of your throat chakra because that is part of your money-making engine. You are a very charismatic person. People are drawn to you. People find you you might also, if you're very physically attractive, play that up. People want to do business with people who they find alluring, and you are a Taurus, so it's very easy for you to do. All you really have to do is, put on a scent that makes you feel. The real key is to seduce yourself. Once you seduce yourself, and you're like, what the hell does it have to do with money? Again, everything is connected for you as a Taurus. So your money is also connected to your ability to command different types of energy. So because you are a Taurus and you're very Venusian, I shouldn't say you, we are Taurus, because I'm a Taurus as well. We are very Venusian. I noticed that I close more deals and I have better networking outcomes when I am, smelling good. I'm layering my perfumes, and I have that whole, oh my God, people come up to me, oh my God, what are you wearing? Right? That opens up a conversation. Anything you can use as an avenue to get you where you want to go while still showing up authentically and empathetically for others is gonna be your ticket in. A lot of you have a very soothing voice. Drink your tea in the morning, nurture your voice. People like hearing your voice. They'll obviously wanna like hearing your business proposals. They'll wanna like hearing you speak in an interview, right? So take care of yourself in the ways that you should, in every way, because when you look your best, you feel your best. When you feel your best, you see what I'm saying? You operate your best. In this case, we're talking about your voice. So nurture your voice, because that is a point of influence for you. You might also speak with an air of power, of command. I know most Tauruses that I know, they have a very authoritative voice. So if you have a very authoritative voice and that might intimidate some people, and you have to figure out how you're going to navigate in certain spaces. Maybe you modulate your voice in a certain way when you bring up this theme so that it disarms people a little bit, makes them a little bit more apt to hearing what you want to say. And it's not because you're evil and manipulative. It's because you're trying to increase the outcome that you'll be able to help them while also allowing them to help you. They feed into your abundance. You give them the expertise that they're looking for from you. It's a trade. This is a career finance reading, isn't it? And that's why I like reading for Taurus, because I am one. All right, what's going on in the future? What's happening in the future? I'm also going to pull a couple of advice cards. Courage. What? Look at this. You can't. Hold on. Stop. Stop the music. Stop the music. First of all, strength, Leo, lion. Courage. Lion. So you could be dealing with a Leo. You might have, like a lot of you for whom this might resonate, you might have Leo in your chart. Go look at your birth chart. So courage. Ask what you are afraid of so you can overcome what's holding you back now. There are leadership opportunities for the taking. So you move into this era where you're actually able in real time. You know how for a lot of the time when you learn a lesson or you kind of have to do a little reflection, how it is kind of retrospective, you do it after the fact. You're able to do it in real time now, which is a lot more powerful. And so you're able to remove blockages in real time. If you have a limiting thought, you're able to remove it in real time, which is a really powerful thing to do. What else is going on? This is solid, dude. Like, you're in a really solid position. Good luck. Good luck. Your fortune is improving and you will get a lucky break soon. Collect nuggets of wisdom. You will need them in the near future. For a lot of the collective, I'm literally hearing April. So when Taurus season starts in late April, like that is pretty much when the lucky break is going to start for a lot of us, because that is when Uranus leaves Taurus. So Uranus has been in Taurus in some way, shape, or form since 2018. I know for myself, my big parts of my journey and really tough lessons that I had to learn started in 2018 for me. So it's really interesting. I know for a lot of the collective, it is the same. You're in a really solid position. I'm going to be really honest. There's not really much else that I'm like hearing to pull out for you. So I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards for advice just to see how we can maintain support for ourselves and each other as time goes on. Hopefully this has been helpful. This is a really good reading. There really isn't much that I need to like say, oh, like watch out. Da, da, da. I'm not really seeing any blockages in the way because you went through your tower moment in the past. You have learned and metabolized your lessons. So now you're actually able to enjoy the blessings that are coming forth for you because you are cultivating the energy. You're cultivating the energy that is allowing you to resonate on the same frequency with the abundance that you're looking to bring forth into the world. So, and this might even be a whole new stream of income. You could have another stream of income that's doing well already, and then this is a whole new stream of income. And this storyline has to do with an entirely new stream that is separate from your existing stream that's already serving you well. So take it as it resonates. What advice do we have for the Taurus collective regarding career and finance that can support them on their journey? Thank you. We have Krishna, devotion. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized. You are loved unconditionally. Okay, I love the visuals on the cards. I think it's so beautiful. Okay, so you need to trust your spiritual guidance. Whatever your spiritual hygiene routine looks like, meditation, prayer, spiritual baths, whatever way you like to do these things, just make sure that you're keeping up with your spiritual hygiene and that you are keeping your connection with the universe nice and clear. All right, what else? Because in the tarot, we are the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is connected to the divine, and people seek advice from the Hierophant because of their connection, their inherent connection to the divine. We also have Lord Ganesh, infinite abundance. Boom. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. Look at that. Right? So when your spiritual blockages are clear, your emotional blockages are clear. When your emotional blockages are clear, your financial blockages are clear. Anything else for the Taurus collective? Thank you. And that'll do it. We have the Holy Spirit. Expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So this is a time to stay in tune with your spiritual practice, whatever that may look like for you. Just remember that you are supported. This is a part of your journey. I know it seems like, it might seem like a weird roller coaster. Things are not supposed to be like this for me. And the Tower moment wasn't even supposed to happen. It happened for a reason. You decided to make it work. You're now coming into this stage where you're able to build and really bring the value that you've discovered in yourself to the forefront and make the most out of it and cultivate your own good luck. So with that being said, thank you so much, Taurus, for your time. I hope that you are well. Hopefully this message has been of service to you. If it has, go ahead and like and subscribe. I'd love to grow this community so we can continue to support each other. All right, y'all. Be safe, be well. I will see you soon. Bye.